Hello, and welcome to another episode of the podcast. I'm so happy to have you here. And today we're going to dive deep into the real reason that your nervous system gets triggered in the first place. And we're all healers here. So we have, a basic understanding of the nervous system. We know that there is an autonomic component, which is divided into your sympathetic nervous system, which most of us know as fight, flight, fawn, or freeze. And we have the parasympathetic division, which is commonly associated with kind of rest and digest. So ideally, in an ideal world, we would spend most of our time in the parasympathetic nervous system where, we're just in that restful state. But we want our nervous system to be resilient and responsive so that if there was a threat, we could easily switch into that sympathetic state and we could decide, are we gonna fight, flight, fawn, or freeze? So when that response is triggered, your system is trying to figure out, okay, do we have enough energy to run away, or would it serve us best to play dead? Do we think that we have what it takes to fight the lion, or should we run away? Which of these scenarios do we have energy for, and which one is going to help us survive? Like, which one is likely to help us survive the most? And this is why I just love every aspect of humans. I love being human. Most people in the spiritual world are keen to play in the ethereal, and I spend half my time in the ethereal, but I absolutely love humans. Just in this one scenario, all of those machinations happen in like a fraction of a second. It's just phenomenal. Your body is just phenomenal. So unfortunately, these days, most of us are spending way too much time in that sympathetic dominance, that feeling of being constantly on. You can't switch off. You might feel really tired, but it's also that wired feeling. And relaxing just seems really, really difficult. Now, most people out there are helping you with this part because there are tools that you can use to signal to your body that you are actually safe. You are actually lying on the sofa. It's Friday night. There's nothing to stress out about. There are no threats around you. So there are physical tools that you can use to signal that to your nervous system. And I teach them as well. There are things like your breath work and your meditation. There's some, visual things that you can do. There's some somatic workouts that you can do. So that is trying to get you from the moment of threat that your nervous system has perceived to the moment of safety, which is signaling to your system that you're not in any danger. The other thing that some people are trying to do is teaching you how to make your system more resilient. So if your window of tolerance is pretty small before you trigger a stress response, like mine was really, really narrow, they are trying to teach you how to increase that window of tolerance so that you can withstand more stress before it triggers a stress response. So those are things like, your ice baths and you're dunking your head in ice water. And again, that is a really useful thing to be able to do. Because you want your nervous system to be as resilient and responsive as possible. You want it to be able to switch between the two when it's appropriate. And you want your nervous system to be healthy because it is what determines what is allowed into your reality. But the nervous system is not the root. Most people think if they get to the nervous system, then they've cracked it. But the nervous system is not the root. Why is your nervous system reacting to these things in the first place? Why can't it switch off while you're lying on the sofa on a Friday night? Even though there's nothing for you to do over the weekend, work is finished, you've tied it all off until Monday, and yet you cannot seem to switch off. Why does your body literally flinch when that work email comes in at 9 p.m.? When you know 9 times out of 10 it's nothing, and it's definitely nothing to flinch for, but you can't help it. That flinch, that physical response happens automatically. Why does your heart race when the patient cancels unexpectedly? Even though you know that the last session went really, really well, and logically there are 1,000 different reasons why that patient could have canceled. And why are you worrying about that one client that's not getting better? And it's not just in a, I'm a caring healer kind of way. It's in a, I'm lying awake worrying about it kind of way. Why do you feel like you have to rush and skip lunch? Even though you have plenty of time and there's no urgency. Where does that urgency in the system come from? You are reacting to old energy. It's old energetic impressions. In yoga, these are called samskaras, and they are energetic impressions that are stored in your body, in your energetic field, because when you have an emotion that couldn't complete its experience. So whether that was because you avoided it, so it's usually strong emotions, you either avoided it and thought, no, not now, or you attached to it. It was so good that you attached to it and you wanted to hold on to it. Either way, your energy bodies took a detailed impression of that moment. Imagine being in a studio having photographs taken. That flash as it takes the photograph. It's like that. And it just stores that impression in your energy bodies. And it stores everything, the smells, the sounds, who was there, all the feels, all the sensations, so that you can process it later. And I think his name is Michael Singer in Untethered Soul describes it in the most beautiful way. Imagine that you are, and I'm taking this like from the book, so obviously he explains it much better. But imagine you are driving in the car and you don't notice every single car that comes past you. Imagine that's like energy going through your body and completing its experience. You're not remembering every car, every registration number that comes towards you until there is one that grabs your attention. So imagine, 10 cars go through, you're not storing any of that information, it's just flowing directly through you until you see, and I think he describes it as, your boyfriend's car. So say your boyfriend has a blue car and you see a blue car just like it. You see a man driving it and you see a girl in the passenger seat. So in that moment, you take the samskara, the energetic impression. So instead of that car traveling through your energy field like the 10 others, this one causes an impression. So likely it's not your girlfriend, it's not that car, it's, something completely innocuous. But in that moment, your brain is logging it, potential threat. Let's take an energetic impression of that. And that is what your system is reacting to. Only we don't, go home and process it and let that emotion finish its experience. It stays in our body, it stays in our field, and it gets baked in there. It gets baked in there in the form of our subconscious programming. And then we look for all the things that confirm it, and society conditions us, and, it bakes it in even further. And then you just think that that's who you are and how things are. But your energy bodies know that that impression is still in your body, it's still in your field, and it's still waiting to be processed. So imagine your energy bodies, because there's 5 of them, imagine they are like 5 friends, always trying to help you. They know your mission, they know your purpose, they know your destination, they've got the GPS coordinates, they know the entire roadmap, they know who you're going to meet, they know the lessons that you're going to need, the experiences that you're going to need to go through. They've got everything. And they are the communication system. So they are the communication system between your conscious and your subconscious mind, but they're also the communication system between you and your higher self. I love it. So when you're trying to switch off on the sofa on a Friday night and your energy bodies start communicating with you, so maybe you feel that urge to get up and do something. Maybe you feel a little bit restless. Maybe you're still clenching your jaw. They're communicating that actually there's something subconscious, some programming, some block around relaxing that needs to be cleared up. So maybe that's because relaxing feels unsafe. Maybe you subconsciously believe that it's lazy. Maybe you subconsciously believe that you have to earn it and you don't feel like you have that day. So there's lots of reasons why, but the key is to start noticing the information that your energy bodies are giving you. They are the star of the line. They are showing you where these samskaras are and what you're ready to move through and let go of and shed and release and all those juicy words. Or you notice that your physical body, so one of your energy bodies, your physical body flinches when that email comes in. Interesting. I noticed that my energy bodies have just showed me something. Yes, because they remember there's that one time that you got into trouble when you were 3, and now you're subconsciously terrified of making a mistake. Maybe you got punished when you were 3. Maybe you think work are going to ask you to come in and do an extra shift, and you want to avoid it because subconsciously setting a boundary and saying no makes you feel really uncomfortable. Because there's a subconscious block, a subconscious part of you that believes you won't be safe if you say no. You won't get love if you say no. You'll be abandoned if you say no. And if you're abandoned, back in the day by your tribe, if you were left on your own, you were unlikely to survive. So it triggers a massive stress response. Your energy bodies tell your nervous system that there's something to react to in the first place. And that's why getting to the root, finding the energetic root, the emotional root, is key. Because once you dissolve that, once you rewrite that energetic impression, once that samskara is no longer there, your nervous system has nothing to react to. The email comes in at 9 o'clock at night from work and you stay neutral. You open it and deal with it, no problem. Instead of spiraling into, oh no, what if I'm getting into trouble? What if they're calling me in for another shift? Or the patient cancels unexpectedly and you just carry on with your day. Not because you don't care, but you just trust that they'll get in touch if they need, your services in the future. Instead of immediately spiraling into, oh my God, something's wrong. I did something wrong. I missed something. I did that for years. I did it a little bit for 20 years, but I did it catastrophically for 6 years. And this is why I am so passionate about teaching people about your energy bodies. It's not a method. It's not a cute step-by-step thing. It's a lifestyle. It's understanding how your body works, how that communication system actually works. Your body is literally a divine piece of technology. It is so exquisitely sensitive. And when you start working with your energy bodies, instead of believing your body's attacking you, it's vulnerable, it's weak, it's letting you down in some way, your energy bodies will literally show you the way. They will show you everything that's holding you back, everything that's going on under the hood, all the ways that you're wasting time and reacting to old energy. And they will also show you the easiest, the fastest, the simplest way to your desires, to that destination that you came here with. Remember, they have the roadmap. So when you feel your body lean in, you know to move. And you're already moving long before your brain can get involved. Long before it can come up with 100 reasons of why you shouldn't do this, because there was this one time in 1980 that you shouldn't have done this thing. When you suck air in through your teeth, you know that's a no. Even though society says I should, I've been conditioned to do it, I'm expected to, I'm not going to do it because my energetic body told me it was a no. So I don't need to waste time and energy going down that usually dead end. You start to leverage your emotions. So instead of taking things personally and being absolutely battered like I was as an empath, now you can start to leverage your emotions. I notice right now I'm feeling resentment or judgment, or I'm angry, or I'm jealous, or I'm happy, whatever the emotion is. Perfect. Let's look underneath. Why do I feel like that? What is this really about? And when you know the right questions to ask, oh my God, you will uncover so much subconscious BS that you have been living by. And the reason I say BS is because when I go into the Akashic Records, I ask about contracts, deals, agreements, and I ask about belief systems. So when I'm in my journal, and I've been doing this the whole time, I write down BS, and I mean belief system. But when you look at it, it really is BS. It is stuff that is not true. It maybe once served you at one time, but it's not serving you now. Sometimes it doesn't belong to you. It belongs further back than that. So it's literally the subconscious BS that we're living by, but we don't have to. And that is the whole idea. When your energy bodies bring this stuff up to the surface, so they're bringing it from your subconscious awareness, communicating it into your conscious awareness so that you can go, that's nonsense. I don't even believe that. It's not even relevant to me right now. And you can just rewrite it. So instead of, carrying it on your back and trying to struggle through it, you can just let it go. And every time you do, things will get lighter and clearer and more fun. Every time I, sit and I look at my journal, obviously when I'm putting programs together, I'm drawing from my own experience and going, oh yeah, that, and I remember when I did that, and oh, that was so helpful in, that scenario. And every time I do it, I think, God, no wonder being a healer and running my business was so hard when I believed all of these things. And I was trying to push through all those signals and all that programming because I knew there was something in my heart and I knew I had to get it out, but trying to get it out through all those layers of armor and conditioning and, subconscious beliefs, it's hard. That's what makes being a healer hard. That's what makes running your business hard. But every time you rewrite one, it gets easier and easier and easier, and you have more fun. So your nervous system is reacting to samskaras. And your job is to notice what your energy bodies are trying to communicate to you. They're trying to get your attention and say, hey, this thing that you're going through now, it's a lot like that thing that we're still carrying around from 1990. In my case, 1980. They're reminding you so that you can move through it, you can release it, you can heal from it. So, as always, DM me your takeaways. And I want to say that healing gets to be fun. Sometimes people aren't willing to go down this road. They're not willing to start looking under the hood because they feel like it's going to take a long time. It's going to be super emotional. It's going to dredge up things from the past. It doesn't. It doesn't. I literally, because I am so dialed into my energy bodies, I am looking for every piece of information. I don't easily get triggered. So I actually try and trigger myself now so that I can go deeper and I can uncover more. And I'm not saying that everybody has to do this, but obviously my path is to teach other people how to do it. So I need to have done it from lots and lots of different angles. So I can literally rewrite a couple of these things in the morning before I even get in the shower. It can be that easy. So let me know your takeaways and start to get really dialed into your energy bodies. You don't have to know what they're saying for now, but just start to notice what's happening, what's happening in your physical body. Notice what's happening to your energy. Notice the emotions and the thoughts that you're having and just be curious about them. No judgment, no concern, no baking in, more negativity, but just notice, okay, I noticed in this situation, I got really angry. And when I step back from it, I think, well, there was no reason to get angry at the actual situation. So what's going on underneath? And just start to get curious. As always, I look forward to connecting with you on the next podcast.